All right, visualization, review, and extension. So believe in yourself in all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. I really like this one. So when it comes to visualizations, one of the biggest things that you're always going to be using ggplot in some aspect of aesthetics. And from there, you also will always have some level of a geom, box plot, bar plot, my favorite plot, violin plot. Scatter plots points. So that's that. So geoms are the basic level, one of the basic aspects, basic levels of every single visualization. From there, we start adding the scales and labs. So we didn't talk too much about scales. The thing is, you can do a lot when it comes to scales. And so this labs, okay, first labs allows you to put the XY axis as well as the title, subtitle, things in that regard. But the scale allows the actual axis of your visualization, okay, to have a certain demeanor. So this one's pretty straightforward because it's continuous. So when it says continuous, what that really just means is quantitative. There's a more technical term and a more statistical technical term that's going on at play, but there's no need to distinguish here. When it comes to the limits, we were actually able to specify the limits. You could use xlim, but because it's on the x-axis. But if we say, let's make this 20, it should tell me that I'm removing data. Yeah, I told you. It's going to tell me that I'm removing data when I do that. So that by me just zooming in. But that's that in terms of scales and labels. What else is in the notes? Themes. We talk about themes. So we have theme minimal, theme BW. Minimal allows you just to have a minimalized background, not gray. I hate the gray background. BW is black and white background, and it still gives you good lines, whereas minimal does not give you good lines, which is fine. This is a new technique, so this is new. This is a new technique. I'm actually going to copy and paste this code, explain this data frame, and then from there talk about this actual visualization. All right. So when it comes to this particular data frame, looking at it, it says data frame. I'm creating a data frame with two types of schools, schools A, schools B, and repeat, and it says each 100. We utilize this function called REP. That stands for repeat. And it says repeat each one of these 100 times, and then, which is very interesting. So it's going to be 200 schools. And so then it says grades 100. It says grade 1, grade 2, 100 times. So you'll see my issue with this in a moment. And then you see score for both of the schools. This is our normal. What this function allows you to do is to create data from a normal distribution. That's a more statistical concept. But right now, let's say it's generating fake data for now, where the average is going to be 75 and the standard deviation is 10. So when I run this, okay, you're going to see what my issue is. Let's hope the issue shows up. Oh, so yeah, they made it random. Okay, so they just randomly selected the rows. Oh, it was like grade 1, grade 2, grade 1, grade 2. So I should have 50 grade 1 in school A, 50 grade 2 in school B, so on and so forth. So you can actually see the scores. That's great. That's fantastic. That's what the data looks like. Okay, it's not that important. But what's really important is facet. And I'm actually going to remove school for a second and just put dot. We did see facet before, I think, in one of the questions. But this is how you actually do it. So here, this is going to be a scatter plot. And you know what? I'm just going to run these two lines just so you can see what the scatter plot looks like. Okay, these are both schools. Great, fantastic. Okay, but then this is looking at the grades within the same graph. But if I do dot tilde facet, this is going to put the data in two separate graphs, or two separate tables. We could argue two separate graphs. Okay, so this allows us to have grade 2 in one panel and grade 1 in the second panel. Okay, well that's the dot tilde. But if I remove that dot and, specify the other variable, school, this is going to give me all 4 different panels. Okay, all 4 different panels. Okay, in terms of school versus grade. What will be more interesting, let's say we have, I'll make this a little more interesting. Let's say this is score 1 with mean 75. We're going to do score 2. So 2 different scores, let's pre and post. Okay, let's make this more interesting. Let's say they did a lot worse. Not that worse, not that bad. Let's make standard deviation 5. And then what we're going to do is say that X is going to be score 1 and Y is going to be score 2. Okay, since I'm going to use a statistical term, these 2 values, score 1 and score 2, are independent. So this should be a bunch, it's going to look very messy, long story short. So yeah, so you don't see a relationship between the scores, but you at least see between the grades what's happening in grade 1, school A, grade 2, school A, grade B, school B, grade 2, school B, grade 1. Okay? And so why is this important? Why am I taking this time to show you this skill set? Is for you to have the capacity to look at more than just those 2 variables, score 1 and score 2, regarding a scatter plot. You can sit there and look at 2 categorical binary or even categorical variables across those 2 quantitative variables. Okay, so that is that regarding those visualizations. Here's our summary. You can take a moment and answer these questions, and I'll review it. You can pause it. Okay, so using the empty cars data frame, create a bar plot with AM, add details to plot to make it look professional. Well, as long as you use the geom bar, and I think you have to turn AM into a categorical variable, categorical binary variable, or at least a character. That should be fine. Okay, so this is me turning into a character. This is the fill. I'm actually specifying the fill. This is different. This is new. I think the code will still work without you actually adding stat count. But what stat count is doing is it's counting each of the types regarding AM, so on and so forth. This is specifying the actual x-axis, and then it's also then specifying the frequency, minimalizing, so removing the gray background but no grid lines, and then adjusting the title. Okay. So using the empty cars data frame, create a box plot for a horsepower. Okay. Hint, after you start typing geom, then search. Make sure it looks professional. So technically this is, you already know about box plots, so you don't have to really search, just geom_box plot. And so this is interesting. This won't work, because this is not a variable. Yeah, I'd like to remove this. And then you can just say X, remove X, that's fine. So in order for this to work, you'd have to remove horsepower. This actual X is equal to horsepower. In ggplot, what is geom? It should be a type of theme for a plot. No. A function used to determine the type of plot. Yes, it's B. The argument that controls aesthetics. No. The function used to specify data. No. B. Okay. What is the function of labs in ggplot? Customize the appearance plots. No. To control mapping data. No. To use to add or modify details like the title. That's yes. It's C. Used to determine the type of plot created. No. It's C. Okay. Well, that's it. Thank you for your time, and one more video, data science thinking. So that should be fun. Thank you.